How's it gangin', dudes? My name is Sean. Welcome back to my channel, where guess what? So make sure you smack the like, put some gravy on the algorithm. You know how it goes, guys. We gotta put the gravy on the algorithm. One gravy equals one like, one share equals one taters. You can't have gravy without the taters. Mashed taters, gravy, they go good together. Like and shares go good together. The algorithm loves it. Okay, so Andrew Yang has exploded in popularity, and why do I say that? I mean, okay, he just went to Barclays, right? That doesn't seem like a big story in it of itself, until you realize just the overwhelming reception that he got. I got a little video down here that I want to show you guys, but let's just go through a few of these photos here. People in the audience are just constantly snapping pictures. They're amazed that Andrew Yang just hopped in. I mean, I think it's great. I mean, I'm not sure what's going on with Barclays. You know, I'm not that big of a fan. I mean, I like UK basketball. It's not that big of a deal to me. But look, Andrew Yang's just getting a warm reception. I think that's awesome. He got backstage with some people up in the skybox. What? That's crazy. But he's a man of the people, and he's got to stay down low. You know what I'm saying? So let's go ahead and watch this little bit of video here. I want to go ahead and silence myself so there's no echo. I mean, they put him on the Jumbotron, guys. They put him on the big screen. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's how famous he is now. I've said this from the very beginning that, you know, even when he was doing well, if Andrew Yang dropped out, even when he was doing very, very well, he is a household name for years to come. He's made UBI a movement that will last. I mean, look, I'm still here making videos, and he's long dropped out. You know, now that he's being a CNN contributor, that's, you know, one more step for CNN to kind of validate themselves. And the world is really accepting this in a very, you know, genuine way. And I think that just speaks to the power of Yang and his movement. It's humbling just to see. I'm so proud to be a part of this, because Andrew Yang has brought so many people together. You know what I mean? It's crazy. I mean, we even have somebody like Zoltan Istvan on a Republican ticket running for UBI. I mean, to say that UBI, you know, it's 100% a bipartisan thing. And just look at this warm reception on Twitter for Andrew Yang just being in Barclays. It's just one thread too. You know what I mean? If I go back, there's so much more. I think it's so awesome that like, I love the little filter, or maybe that's just the lights from the thing. I don't know. But yeah, I think it's awesome that Andrew Yang, anywhere he goes now, this is the type of reception that he will see. It's wild to me that he's come this far to have this much of an explosion in popularity, because it is an explosion of popularity, guys. Make no mistake about that. When you walk into a basketball game and they're treating you like you're the Michael Jordan that just walked in, like, oh my God, look at this guy. Hey, let's get a picture. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. So let's read some of these comments here. It says, why is Andrew Yang playing basketball? Is that a jab at Bernie Sanders? Well, look, the thing is, you got to realize, man, that you know, Bernie Sanders is old, and that is I mean, I'm not trying to be ageist. I'm not saying that you have to be a certain age to run for president. Anybody can run. I don't care if you're 90, but you know, you can't ignore the fact that somebody's health may possibly get in the way. That kind of sunk Hillary Clinton, all the memes about her health and stuff like that. So Bernie Sanders has been doing a pretty good job of keeping a lid on that. But let's say he had another heart attack, right? People really started to question, like, will you be able to go for 4 or even 8 years? You know what I mean? So now, one of the most, you know, darker aspects of it is that maybe Andrew Yang could be his VP and Bernie might croak within a month or so, and Andrew Yang is president. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I think it's kind of dark, and nobody would hope that, but it is kind of a very you know, macabre sort of you know, way of thinking, right? So make no mistake, Andrew Yang is here to stay. He is huge. He is now a prominent political figure, and with him being on CNN every single day, every single night, it's going to be amazing for his name recognition. And come 2024, we are going to start leading the pack. And let's say if Sanders wins against Trump, well, then guess what? You know, depending on if Sanders does well or not, it's going to be that much more easier for Yang to actually be able to challenge him. Unlike Donald Trump now, where it's Donald Trump is just destroying the field. Nobody even comes close, maybe getting half a delegate. You know what I mean? So I think 2024 is going to be a huge year for the Yang Gang, and we're going to stay here and keep covering Andrew Yang and other stories, of course, but a focus on Andrew Yang because he's brought all of us together, and you know, people still voting for Yang is real. It's just because he didn't. Most people, like let's say Cory Booker, you know, oh, they're going to go find somebody else. Joe Biden supporters, they're going to go find somebody else. There's very few people out there, kind of like Bernie Sanders and Andrew Yang, and even I guess you can throw Donald Trump in there, who are just Yang or bust, Sanders or bust, Trump or bust. When somebody has real ideas, I mean, Tulsi's that same way, right? So when you have real ideas, real solutions, and you're not bought and paid for, that resonates with people, and they're not going to let that go. All right, so a couple days ago, CNN was covering the Nevada caucus last night, and I think there's an ad that's getting ready to pop up right here. So I need to stop that, right? Yeah. Okay, so there was a the whole thing about the Nevada caucus and Andrew Yang that night. He was just constantly destroying the DNC, constantly, every single second, man. He would just say why we don't need a caucus and why it's bad, and look at the numbers, and this is the reason why, you know, you don't have Mike Bloomberg in the race. This is the reason why you have, you know, thoroughly vetting for the DNC. He just keeps constantly knocking down the DNC live on air, CNN, giving CNN credibility, making them look sane. You know, he's not toting the party line. It's crazy. And he even said someone needs to pull in Andrew Yang and drop out of the Democratic primary, whether that be Joe Biden or whoever, you know what I mean? Maybe Pete Buttigieg or Amy Klobuchar, but they're not doing themselves any favors. And Andrew Yang is the only one not oozing anti-Bernie bias, which I'm not a fan of Bernie, but being as we're not necessarily enemies anymore, I'm definitely going to give him more props where he deserves, and so does Andrew Yang, because everybody, like the Democratic Party, preaches unity. We all need to come together to beat Trump. But as soon as Bernie Sanders is fully the front runner, it's all attacks and smears from his own party within, not outside in, with, you know, from inside out, and of course outside in as well. As far as going to saying the Russia gates and stuff like that, but if you really are committed to helping defeat Donald Trump, you should do what Yang says and pull your Democratic campaign out of the race. I think Andrew Yang will be on CNN tonight. I'm not 100% sure, so maybe this is just like a little update for you guys. But from the other night, I think Andrew Yang really stepped up and said something that you know, nobody else is really willing to say, and just coming out and saying that, like, somebody needs to step down, and it's probably Joe Biden. I mean, with all the gaffes that he's had, it's not looking good. There's people from his surrogates leaving to Mike Bloomberg's campaign, and it's just one more person who's muddying up the waters and really preventing Bernie Sanders from actually going on to take on Donald Trump. And I don't think Mike Bloomberg could do that. And plus, on top of that, Mike Bloomberg just bought and paid for. So you need somebody who can at least think on their own. Even if you disagree with Bernie Sanders, at least he's thinking on his own. He's not put a piece of paper in front of him and read. You know what I mean? He panders sometimes. He gets some things wrong. But at the end of the day, you know, he's not bought and paid for. So, you know, even if it is suspect that he, you know, caved to Hillary. So entrepreneur Andrew Yang said Saturday that the still wide Democratic field needs to unite, and joked that someone ought to pull an Andrew Yang and drop out of the race. The rest of the field needs to consolidate, ideally, Yang said on CNN, and each candidate wants to be the last person standing to absorb the non-Bernie energy, meaning frontrunner Senator Bernie Sanders of Vermont. Someone needs to pull an Andrew Yang, he said with a laugh, referencing he ended his own campaign last week. At that time, he told his supporters that he had done the math and did not see the path to secure a nomination. Yang has since joined CNN as a political commentator. His comments come after CNN projected Sanders would win the Nevada caucuses. The senator projected win in the states follows a New Hampshire and a strong showing in Iowa, where results were still being examined from the state's caucuses from former South Bend, Indiana Mayor Mike Buttigieg, who, you know, who's his campaign lead's wife was on the board of the app, who inadvertently failed, you know, obviously not on purpose, so the DNC can come in and do the recounts. So Yeah, there's been a lot of weird stuff going on, and even when they were trying to make it like Bernie Sanders was still a front runner, they keep saying like, oh, Pete Buttigieg is in first with only 62% reporting, so everybody thought Pete Buttigieg was winning, and then Bernie Sanders had like a half delegate between the two, and they were still saying, well, Pete Buttigieg is out on top, and then when Bernie Sanders was winning in New Hampshire, there's like Bernie Sanders is first in New Hampshire, but Pete Buttigieg in a strong fourth, or Bloomberg and showing up for the debate stage, question mark. It's like, it's, excuse me. It's all sad, and all the headlines are always crap. And now that Bernie Sanders is running away with the race, their heads are exploding, dudes. Their heads are exploding. They don't know how to deal with it. And honestly, like Andrew Yang said, if you really want to unite and you really wanted to, come together, you would pull an Andrew Yang and you would drop out, whether that's Amy Klobuchar, or whether that's Joe Biden, whether it's Pete Buttigieg. I would rather it be Bloomberg or Buttigieg or Biden, because they're obviously bought and paid for. I'm not saying that Amy isn't, but at least one of the good things about her is she's wanting to get rid of Citizens United, which is one of the reasons why I think she's had such a surge. But with these muddied waters and this late into the race, it's like, come on, man. It's obviously going to be Bernie Sanders, and you guys need to stop your in-house bickering and just get behind the guy. I mean, I have no dog in this race at this point because my guy's out, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I'm still going to vote for Sanders, and the way the Democratic Party has been going, people are leaving in droves. People are not accepting this whole woke nature of politics that's gone way too far. Even if it was, I guess sincere in its roots, now it's all just eating the left alive, and now all the stories against Bernie Sanders, all those smears are coming from the inside out towards him, from either his own campaign or his own party, or people who just, are always Clinton and never Bernie type people. It's so sad. And it's just another, example of how the Democratic Party has failed America. And now they keep going down this horribly disastrous road of implosion. And it's kind of, get out of here, Anderson Cooper. Get out of here, you CIA spook. All right. So that's all we got, guys. So that's our first Andrew Yang story. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. He is exploding. There's no other way around that. You know what I'm saying? So.